Big League Baseball from Minute Maid Park in downtown Houston, where tonight the 6-game homestand comes to an end, and the Astro fans wanting to see something they have not seen in quite some time, and that is see the home team get a victory. It has been a strange month at home for the Houston Astros. Alongside Jeff Blum, I'm Kevin Eschenfelder, sitting in for Todd Callis for the night. Astros trying to get something going in the right direction, and it may not be necessarily who's here for the Astros in the lineup, but who's not here, and that is the subject of our Shiner Light Blonde Spotlight.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that we have to talk about these things, but it's very similar to August that we saw last year. Just it was in the starting rotation with Dallas Keuchel on the DL. Lance McCullers spent some time on the DL, and Carlos Correa again on that DL. But he's back now, but it always serves us a little bit to see how good these guys really are and how important they are to this lineup. You're going to have some guys step up in key situations, but on the whole, these are the three horses that are going to drive this ship. And you can see that they account for almost a quarter of the offense that the Astros are going to go out there and put up. Those are RBIs and runs scored. The thing about Carlos Correa, once he gets going, he is incredibly clutch. We've seen him get 6 walk-off hits in that Astros uniform. George at the top part of the lineup is always a force and a threat as soon as he steps in the box. Altuve is really the catalyst with the bat and the attitude when he goes out there and plays. You can't say enough about these guys, and what they do is create a lot of depth, but it's also that attitude and that energy with them in the lineup that affects everybody else.
All right, the Astros looking to get a win before heading out of town. When we come back, Josh Reddick, one of those who hopes to step up in a big way, sits down with our Preston Wilson.
Josh, what's the mood in the clubhouse right now?
I mean, surprisingly, the clubhouse atmosphere is pretty great. Despite what's going on recently here, we come in every day like nothing's wrong. Everybody's all hyped up and doing their same thing they do every day, whether we're winning 10 in a row or losing 5 in a row. So the feelings are right, the atmosphere is right, the attitudes are right where we need them to be. We just got to convert it from in there to out here.
what are some of the things that, because when you're missing the big guns like a Springer, like an Altuve, everybody kind of has a chip in a little bit. What are some of the little things that you think you guys can do a little better to kind of hold it afloat till they get back?
I think our biggest thing is just staying within ourselves and not trying to do too much. I think we got some guys, including myself, that are going out there and trying to carry the weight of an Altuve or a Springer. When we're not those kind of hitters, we're not going to be those guys. We have to find ways to maybe recreate that guy in 2 or 3 different hitters, and maybe if we have to do a few more hit and runs or maybe some bunting guys over, that's what we need to do, because that's not really our game with those guys in the lineup doing what they can. So I think we need to just kind of change our game plan a little bit, because obviously the hits haven't been coming for us, and we need to get out there, and obviously we want to be hitting as well. But I just think we got to, transition into some small ball a little bit.
Well, you're really about the little things. Where does that come from? Because like when I watch you play, you're a very detailed player. I look at the way you field balls, the way you throw. Where did that start?
Anything can change a game. Anything. Remember that, kids. Anything can change a game, whether it be, beating out a ball that just got bobbled by the infielder. You never take the ground ball in the outfield for granted. Could always move by at the last second. So anything that I think can help the team win, I'm all for it. I'm going to go out there and try to do my best to help that team win, whether it's, I'm in that box right there, or I'm out there trying to make a play or throw somebody out. Anything can happen in this ball game.
Thanks a lot, Josh.
Yep, no problem.
All right, we'll be back with more.
Southwest Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by Volkswagen. Well, tonight the finale of a 6-game homestand as the Astros looking to salvage one before heading out on the road for a big road trip. And Garrett Cole, the man on the mound tonight for Houston.
Best in Texas Power Pitchers brought to you by your local Ford dealers. And it is Garrett Cole. July 24th, he went 6 1/3, only allowed 2 earned runs, 5 hits, 9 strikeouts, 1 walk, and 102 pitches. The interesting thing about Garrett Cole is he has such a good breaking ball, which we'll have a chance to talk about a little bit later in the show, is he threw 76 fastballs out of those 102 pitches, kind of giving you an idea that he adjusted to the altitude in Colorado and still incredibly effective with that fastball that has a relatively low number against it as far as batting average is concerned. Overall, the opponent batting average against Garrett Cole is at 187, and every strikeout he gets is a career high in strikeouts for the season, sitting on 207 right now.
What Black's lineup card looks like this. Charlie Blackmon leads it off, the center fielder, followed by LeMahieu and Carlos Gonzalez, the top 3. Arenado, Story, and David Dahl gets the start. Ian Desmond is at first base. Ryan McMahon is at third. It will be Chris Iannetta doing the catching and batting ninth for Bud Black's Colorado Rockies. Astros got some good news earlier today as the Oakland Athletics finally lost a baseball game. Mariners got them in extra innings, so the Astros taking the field tonight with a 1.5 lead in the American League West. Blackman leads it off. We are underway. Just outside, ball one. Blackman, a .275 hitter, leads the National League in runs scored. Got the corner. It's 1-1. Rockies won last night's game 5-1, 5 unanswered runs. Justin Verlander, the tough luck loser in last night's game. Go quickly ahead, 1-2. Oakland's lost today, just their 13th loss in their last 51 games.
Pretty impressive stuff. And I'm not sure if it's an organizational thing, but that's really reminiscent of like the early mid-2000s Oakland A's that we've seen where they go on that run in September.
A swing and a miss, and Garrett Cole punches out Charlie Blackman to get this one started.
Good breaking ball from Garrett Cole. Snap down in the bottom part of the zone. Very good hitter, and Charlie Blackman unable to adjust to it.
Well, defensively tonight for the Astros, Tony Kemp in center field, Marwin is in left, Reddick in right, Yuli Gurriel and Correa the middle infield, and Bregman and Tyler White on the corners. Max Stassi catching Garrett Cole tonight. DJ LeMahieu, a couple hits last night. Didn't play against the Astros when these two teams met in Denver back in mid-July. Cole ahead 0-2. Saw plenty of strikeouts last night. Another double-digit strikeout game for Justin Verlander as he struck out 11. Swing and a miss. 2 up and 2 down and 2 Ks.
All right. Garrett Cole coming out aggressive in the strike zone. Pretty good to get a guy like DJ LeMahieu to chase that far out of the zone.
He's behind only Chris Sale in the major leagues in strikeouts per 9 innings. And he is on pace right now to set an Astros record, held right now by Nolan Ryan in 1987. About 11.5 strikeouts per 9 innings.
It's incredible for a full season. And that is not the guy we anticipated to see from Garrett Cole. We anticipated a very good pitcher, but not a guy that's going to go out there and create that kind of swing and miss.
Gets ahead of Carlos Gonzalez with that 82-mile-an-hour curveball. And ahead 0-2 once again.
Shift employed against Carlos Gonzalez. You can see the defensive alignment with Alex Bregman, Correa, Gurriel, and White via StatCast AI powered by AWS.
It's inside, peel down, and no swing. Fielding Colbert, the third base umpire.
It's fielding Colbert right.
Yep.
Good read. Thankful for Mattress Firm Supremo showing us a pretty good angle of it.
Chris Conroy is behind the plate tonight. Carlos Gonzalez 1 for 5 with a run scored last night. Takes inside. It's 2-2. The Rockies playing their best baseball of the season. Carlos Gonzalez may be their best hitter during that stretch. Hitting over 330 based in the last 6 weeks of the season. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Three-two pitch. Swing and a miss. 3 up and 3 down as Garrett Cole strikes out the side in the first. In the leadoff spot, playing third base for the Astros, followed by Marwin Gonzalez and Yuli Gurriel. Carlos Correa, Tyler White, and Josh Reddick, the middle third. Evan Gattis, Max Stassi, and the center fielder Tony Kemp will bat ninth, and that's the lineup that will face 28-year-old Tyler Anderson.
Left-hander Tyler Anderson going out there for the Rockies in 24 starts. He is 6-4 in 137 innings. He has struck out 127 batters. The opponent batting average at 229. Want to get him early. The splits on him are interesting because left-handed hitters are hitting 279 off of him with 6 home runs. Right-handed hitters are hitting 215 with 15 home runs.
15 of the 21 he's given up to right-handed hitters, but the average way down on the reverse split. Bregman leads it off. This is high. 1-0.
Alex is one of those 15 home runs that Anderson has given up. Got him back in Colorado.
That was July 24th. That game started with Springer hitting a routine ground ball at Trevor Story. Story dropped it. Springer reached. Next batter up was Alex Bregman, and he hit a home run since the second batter of the game. It was 2-0 before the Rockies had recorded an out. It stayed 2-0 until the 10th inning. And the Astros scored 6 and won the game 8-2. Bregman to right center field. He's got a chance. Blackman over, and it'll bounce to the warning track. And Bregman into second base with a leadoff double. Good start for the Astros.
Breaking ball hanging right down the middle. What you like to see is Alex letting that ball travel and staying through it towards that right center field gap. Yesterday we saw him get quick on a couple of sliders and hit him foul. So a good adjustment early on, taking that first base hit going the other way.
Well, last night he saw his 7-game hitting streak come to an end, and hoping to start another one today. Here's Marwin Gonzalez. One 1-0 as Marwin gets ahead in the count. He has been one of the few bright spots offensively for the Astros on this homestand. 7 for 20, hitting .350 with a couple of runs batted in. And that's saying something because they have not scored many runs on this homestand. Astros have really struggled to get something going. They've lost 5 in a row. Shortened up to bunt. Takes ball 2, 2-0. A smaller crowd tonight. With school getting underway. Still not a bad crowd at all. We've had good attendance all through this homestand. Unfortunately, the Astros just haven't been able to reward the fans with a victory. Hoping to change that tonight. Able to hold up. Check the swing. It's 3-0.
So far early on, pretty tight zone from Chris Conroy behind home plate. Borderline, but good take by Marwin. And little hesitation in Anderson's delivery can throw the timing of the hitter off just a little bit, or just enough to get them guessing and get their timing off at home plate.
This is down and 2 men on with nobody out in the first. That'll bring up Yuli Gurriel. Yuli scored the only run of the night last night. The Astros lost the game 5-1, but the encouraging thing to that, I thought, was the fact that going the opposite way and hitting that triple to the right center field gap that went all the way to the wall.
Hey, you'll see good hitters who struggle a little bit, try and turn that dial or change that gauge to that opposite field gap. That means they want to see the ball a little bit longer. But that was a great swing from Yuli last night. And he's the guy you wanted to play with a runner in scoring position.
Still over 400. Just 176 since the All-Star break. Got into the seats in a hurry.
Yeah, that's letting it travel.
I'd say so.
So when you go back to the hitting coach, yeah, you want to let it get deep, but not that deep.
Well, the Astros, as I said, got to Tyler Anderson early in the game in Colorado on the 24th. Got to do the same here. AJ Hinch's team said, don't look at me pressing any panic buttons right now. Just a matter of getting his guys back. Taking Springer and Altuve, and for the most part, Correa out of the lineup for that extended period of time. So everybody's going to suffer if you take those guys out of a lineup. That's down low a ball. It's 2-2. Correa waits on deck. Three balls and 2 strikes.
Seeing Anderson missed pretty bad. He just yanked that changeup big time. Good job by Iannetta sliding across because he was setting up for that changeup down and away.
Bregman at second, Marwin at first, nobody out. First inning. Bases loaded, nobody out.
It's a good eye by Yuli, and remember what we talked about yesterday about getting things going. When we get 2 or 3 guys on base, usually good things happen.
Carlos Correa. He has struggled since coming off the disabled list in those 4 games. Looking to turn that around in a big way with 1 swing of the bat. Bases loaded, nobody out.
Carlos spending a lot of time in that 3rd spot since coming off the DL, but now in that 4th spot where he's
Bouncer, fair ball down the line. Bregman scores. Marwin in. Yuli being waved around. A three-run double by Carlos Correa, and the Astros take the early lead.
Well, what I was going to say is that's where he's comfortable. When things are right, you've got Springer to Bregman to Altuve, then to Correa in that fourth spot. You got to give a lot of credit to the first three guys in front of Correa getting on base and creating this opportunity. Not smashed, but enough to get past McMahon at third base and end up being a three-run double in that left field corner. What a huge boost this is going to give to that dugout. Barry Pettis wheeling everybody around.
The leads have been few and far between, and that snaps a 1 for 15 since coming off the disabled list for Carlos Correa. He was due a break or two.
Yes.
Tyler White, he's been swinging the bat pretty well in this homestand. Hitting .308, he's 4 for 13. One and one.
Seemed a little bit low. Let's see what our MD Anderson strike zone says. Just catching the edge of that zone might be the way Iannetta caught that also. Kind of deceiving.
It's a three-run inning. We have not seen many crooked numbers at all. In fact, Tyler White back up the middle. LeMahieu will throw him out, but it moves Correa to third with one out.
He's going to get some high fives in the dugout. Tyler White probably wanted to do more and drive in the run, but still with nobody out and a runner at second base, getting that guy to third less than 2 outs is a beautiful thing, and actually a pretty good piece of hitting, bringing the hands in.
There's Josh Reddick, and you remember the splits that you talked about just a moment ago. You got a hitter that has no problem facing lefties, and a lefty on the mound who struggled against left-handed hitters. They bring the infield in for strike one.
Ooh, changeup. Infield in, you're looking for something you can elevate to the outfield and hit hard, or something that you can barrel up and get right back through the middle.
That will make the seats. But Reddick behind in the count, 0-2. You know, the 3 runs seem so huge when you take into consideration the Astros have scored 14 runs during the 5-game losing streak.
Ouch.
Just got a piece of it. Dahl comes in, makes the catch. He'll draw the throw. Correa not going anywhere. It wasn't deep enough. Hitting just 192, averaging less than 3 runs per game.
That's just ugly.
That's the longest home losing streak the Astros have ever had here at Minute Maid Park. They have not won since July 14th here at home. Evan Gaddis trying to break out of a funk as well. Take strike one. Gaddis currently 0 for his last 19. Average down to 234. It's 0-2.
I wonder how much of that last road trip affected Evan Gattis. Going through 2 National League cities, he was unable to DH, kind of iced him off.
Anderson will take this one himself, and that'll retire the side. But the Astros get 3, a bases-loaded double by Correa.
What do we got today? Who is your favorite Astros strikeout duo of all time? 1987, Nolan Ryan, Mike Scott. 1979, J.R. Richard, Joe Niekro. 2004, the Clemens-Oswalt matchup, or 2018, Verlander and Cole. Again, that's our Chevy Stroh poll. Make sure you go to ATT Sports SW and place your vote. We'll be back later in this ball game to give you guys the results.
You realize in 1986 and 87, Mike Scott and Nolan Ryan combined for 1,003 strikeouts.
Come on. 2 guys for 1,000?
Yeah, in 2 seasons. So he got 500 in 86.
Gosh.
And it's funny because Scotty's struck out 306 batters in 1986. Nolan had 194, so that's the 500. The next year, Nolan had 270 and Scott had 233, which was 503.
That's one thing you really never heard about with Mike Scott is how many strikeouts he actually got.
When he got
306.
He got that split going, but that's, you're right, that's a big number.
Yeah, that split was a good pitch.
There's Nolan Arenado. It was effective. Arenado right through the shift. The Rockies with their first hit of the night.
Well, of course, it's Nolan Arenado. Not only is he a good ball player, he's got pretty good numbers against Garrett Cole in his career. But a pretty good piece of hitting to be able to stay on that slider.
He's DHing again with that hit. Nolan Arenado is now 7 for 15 with 2 home runs against Garrett Cole in his career. There's Trevor Story. Homered last night in the 8th inning and hit just an absolute bomb. He got out of here in a hurry. It was a line shot that he needed a glove to catch in the outfield, or in the Landry's Crawford boxes, after it cleared the outfield. Garrett Cole with that striking out the side in the first inning, now up to 210 strikeouts on the season, and each and every one will set a new career high for him. Ball and 2 strikes. Trevor Story, a native Texan, went to Irving High School in the Dallas area.
Ooh.
That's
unhittable.
Unhittable. I mean,
Yeah,
exactly,
no, that is.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
It's crossing the front part of the plate and catching part of the zone, but at 97 miles an hour, good luck with that.
The 1-2 should be 2. And it is. And Trevor Story really never got out of the box. I don't know if he slipped or pulled something getting out of the box, but he is going back slowly.
Yeah, double play either way. Keep your eye on the hitter. He goes down in a heap. And therefore, plenty of time for Yuli to make that turn at second base. Story with a big swing, and Bobbly Swagger got him. Man down.
Actually, I was glad to see that he slipped. I would have hated to see Trevor Story to
Yeah, you don't want to see
the
anybody get
injury.
hurt.
Absolutely. So David Dahl gets his first AB of this series. Yeah, you talk about Arenado putting up big numbers. Story now 0 for 8 in his career against Garrett Cole. David Dahl in his 40 games since being recalled earlier in August. A couple of times down in Albuquerque this season. Ball and 2 strikes. That'll retire the side. 4th strikeout of the game for Garrett Cole. Invites you to join the volunteer corps to take part in various volunteer opportunities, including game day activities at Minute Maid Park, craft parties at local hospitals, and much more. For information, visit astros.com/volunteer. A day off tomorrow. The Astros will open a 3-game series in Oakland over the weekend. Kevin Eschenfelder sitting in for Todd Callis tonight alongside Jeff Blunt, Preston Wilson. Gay will be back on the road trip. There's Max Stassi to lead it off in the second inning. The Astros leading 3-0. Martin Maldonado started last night behind the dish for the Astros. Stassi came in and caught the ninth.
Yeah, you really felt with the substitutions that A.J. Hinch made that he was trying to push all kinds of buttons to see if somebody could come up big. It just didn't happen.
2 balls and a strike. And you see it again tonight with just mixing and matching, putting Bregman back in the leadoff spot, Marwin in the 2-hole. Move Tony Kemp to the 9 spot. It's 3-1.
Yeah, I really feel like AJ, when he wrote out this lineup, made a concerted effort to make sure that Carlos was going to be in that 4th spot, and then just kind of moved around what Carlos is doing in that 4th spot, and it worked out pretty good in that 1st inning. Kemp has been very good out of that 9 spot. Get him back in that comfort zone. Not to say he wasn't doing a good job at the top of the order, but it just seemed that he was really doing good things out of that 9th spot.
Three-two pitch to Stassi. Third walk of the game issued by Tyler Anderson. Jose Altuve. Most encouraging news we've heard, really, I thought, came today. Listening to AJ talk before today's game. Jose took batting practice. They ran in the outfield, barring something that they unforeseen situation. George Springer will be back with the team on Friday. Brian McCann, he goes out on a rehab assignment tomorrow. Devo pitched 2/3 of an inning last night for Fresno. And Lance McCullers and Jake Marisnick, no news on either one of them right now. They're basically where they were. Well, leadoff walk brings up Tony Kemp. Astros scored 3 in the first. Bregman led it off with his 38th double of the season. And walk, and a 3-run double by Carlos Correa.
You know, of those guys that are on the DL, we know that there's some key components with Springer and Altuve, but the sneaky guy for me is Brian McCann. He basically tried to play this season on that knee, and it wasn't going exactly well. And in talking to him after he had the surgery done, it's almost a boost, little sign of life that he's got his legs back under him. That's a big thing for him as far as hitting and going behind the plate. But as far as attitude and how a guy can change a clubhouse, this guy right here, he can inspire 24 other guys to go out and play that much harder.
It was in Colorado against the Rockies when he felt that problem in his knee, and he's been out ever since. No timetable. AJ told us before, they're not going to tell you, well, hopefully he'll be back this weekend. They haven't even gone that far.
Yep.
But he did run in the outfield. He did take batting practice, which if you have a knee issue, that's what puts you on the disabled list. That transfer of weight from one side to the other, what you're going to be looking at. He took batting practice. Basically, it looked like Jose Altuve taking batting practice.
Well, and think about Jose Altuve. We were talking about Brian McCann, his knee surgery. He's going to be back on his legs with his swing, which will make it more effective and give him more drive and maybe a little more power, so I can scream a cannonball a couple more times.
It's been a while.
But Jose Altuve, his right knee is his load leg. That's what he gets back on and start firing through the zone.
It's inside 3-2.
But back to Tony Kemp. Hitting in that 9 spot. His batting average is .345 and his on-base percentage .427. In that leadoff spot, he was hitting a .115.
Yeah,
he almost got Stassi.
Yeah, well, did you see where Tyler Anderson, that right leg?
Some hang time. There were a couple of pickoffs in that game on July 24th.
And it was Altuve. Remember, it was Altuve, and Altuve looked into the home plate. We got a good shot of it. When the throw came over, usually a guy taking his lead from first base, he's watching the pitcher, takes his focus to home plate whenever he thinks the ball is going to be delivered. Jose's looking at the dish, and then they throw over.
Yep. It's the old Andy Pettit hang time.
I think there were 3 pickoffs in that game.
Yeah.
I think Trevor Story got picked off.
Oh, that's right. Cole had one too.
Tony Kemp, tag to right, going back. Carlos Gonzalez can't get it. Up against the wall. Stassi turns to third, and he'll stay there. And Tony Kemp, the Astros' 3rd double of the game.
Left-handers doing a number against Tyler Anderson this season. Tony Kemp gets a mistake, hits it hard. Just the only question was, would it get over Carlos Gonzalez's head? Luckily it does. Stassi had to hold his ground to make sure because he knew he got it good. Still able to advance into third base and give Tony that double.
So after having the bases loaded and nobody out in the first inning, the Astros now have runners at second and third and no one out in the second. Bregman doubled and scored in the second inning. Got things started for the Astros. Take strike one.
Interesting alignment in the defense. They're kind of playing behind, almost at double play depth, and the reason is because Max Stassi doesn't run extremely well, and they don't want to give up too much with two runners in scoring position.
Bregman to center. Charlie Blackmon goes back and a leaping catch, but that'll work. And Tony Kemp also going from second to third as Max Stassi scores on the sacrifice fly.
Great piece of hitting. Also was kind of interested to see what Tony Kemp was going to do with Charlie Blackmon going back on that ball to make the catch. I thought there might have been an opportunity maybe to get 2 runs out of this sac fly, but this ball smoked to center field, and that's what we're talking about. Runner at third base, less than 2 outs, get something you can smash to the outfield. Almost got it over the head of Charlie Blackmon.
Astros lead 4-0. 4 runs on 3 hits. All 3 walks issued by Tyler Anderson have scored. A heads-up base running play, though, by Tony Kemp as well. Great read once he saw the catch, able to get to third base with just 1 out.
I bet you Gary Pettis was trying to see if he had a chance to wave him, because I guarantee you if Charlie Blackmon's throws just offline a little bit, they might have taken a chance.
A ball and a strike. Marwin walked and scored in the second inning. Bregman, Gonzalez, and Gurriel all scored on Carlos Correa's bases loaded 3-run doubled in the first. Ball and 2 strike to Marwin Gonzalez. Struck him out. About 2 away for Yuli Gurriel. Astros with 3 in the first, 1 more here in the second. Off-speed breaking ball. He's out in front, 0-1. It's the 11th time the Astros and Colorado Rockies have met since the Astros moved to the American League. Astros have won 8 of those 11 head-to-head matchups. Rockies won last night. Yuli deep to left, way out of here and gone.
Two-out lightning from La Pina.
2-run homer. It's 6-0 Houston. Got a pitch to hit and did not miss it.
I'll tell you what, if Yuli's power stroke starts to come back, that'll be another huge addition to these Astros. That is only the 7th home run on the season for Yuli Gurriel. Now up to 58 RBIs, but man, that was statuesque.
Nice grab, too.
Who needs a glove?
Took that one into home run alley. That is the first Astro home run since Tyler White hit one 6 days ago.
I thought you were going to say since Preston hit one. Man, that's good to see. Astros rely a lot on that home run. They have not gotten this homestand, which is amazing to hear that in 5 games here at Minute Maid Park. 1 home run until that one.
Thursday against the Mariners, Tyler White hit one.
Off Edwin Diaz.
Yep. Carlos Correa swing and a miss, but the Astros, another good inning. 3 more.
Power showing up. Methodist. Garrett Cole has been great with the fastball. We talk about the 2-seam and 4-seam. He has been heavy on the 4-seam, and it has shown up in a big way, and it's just crushing opponents. 169 batting average against that fastball for Garrett Cole.
Second best David Price at 190. Gives you an idea just how good it is when you're that much better than the
It's amazing how
second
dominant
best
a fastball can be, but Garrett Cole has figured it out.
Ian Desmond leads off in the 3rd. In for strike 1. Starts him off with the curveball. Desmond, guy that has done most of his damage on the road. He's behind in the count quickly 0-2. One of those rare guys left, like you, came up through the Expos organization. Swing and a miss.
There aren't too many of those. Bartolo Colon still playing. Garrett Cole, we talked about that fastball and how good it is, but it was interesting to watch throughout the course of the season, him pitching with it almost 56% of the time because he has such good secondary pitches. But when you get to that high altitude in Colorado, he made a big time adjustment, jumping the fastball usage to 74.4%, relying a little bit less on the break and just going with the heater. Combination of the altitude and the ability of the Rockies to hit the fastball, I think, is what led to that, because the Rockies against 94 plus are hitting 249, which is 16th best in Major League Baseball.
They struck out 5 of the first 7 Colorado Rockies he has faced. Just misses. Folks on the right side for Ryan McMahon. Full struck out 9 when he faced the Rockies back in July at Coors Field, and he had a lot of strikeouts early in that game as well. He had 5 strikeouts in the 3rd inning, just like he does tonight. Fouled back and stays ahead. Count even at 2-2. Beg your pardon. Top of the 3rd inning. The Astros with 3 in the 1st, 3 more in the 2nd. Garrett Cole pitching with a rare lead.
And I don't think that's really going to affect how he goes out and attacks these Colorado hitters either. Like him, Justin Verlander, basically everybody in this rotation, they go out with a game plan and they plan on executing it no matter what the score is. But it's got to feel awfully good knowing that you don't have to be absolutely perfect if you're Garrett Cole, because that's how it's felt for most Astros starters here in this tough stretch where the runs have been hard to come by.
Well, Cole is trying to avoid his first ever 4-game losing streak. He's lost 3 straight starts, and the Astros have scored 4 runs in those 3 starts.
So I was just going to ask you what his ERA is, which is very good.
That is 6 strikeouts as he gets McMahon swinging.
Bringing the noise up top, and we've seen McMahon get beat by some fastballs in this series.
Yeah, McMahon has had a rough go. Verlander pretty much had his way with him last night. And Garrett Cole is as sharp as I've seen him probably in his last 3 or 4 starts. The command is incredible. He's throwing the ball where he wants to almost every time. And he's had different shapes to that breaking ball. Sometimes it's a little bit more loopy like that one. He's throwing a couple sharper ones tonight. He looks like he is on his game. This could be definitely a double-digit strikeout now for him. Probably up around 14, I'd say.
Yeah, interesting.
I like it.
You talk about the double-digit strikeouts. Garrett Cole has 6 double-digit strikeout games this season. Iannetta hits this one high to right, Reddick over, and that will retire the side. We'll pick that one up in the next half inning. Middle of the 3rd, the Astros with a 6-0 lead.
Justin Verlander was back on his game, got roughed up the outing before, but rebounded nicely against these Colorado Rockies. Very aggressive with that fastball again. 11 strikeouts, 0 walks. He is one of the league leaders as far as strikes in the zone, and he was getting after it last night. 4th time this season, 10+ strikeouts and no walks, most in Major League Baseball. You just wish the record matched up with what the numbers are showing.
Those 217 strikeouts for the season, that is already the 12th best season in Astros history.
That's kidding me.
Garrett Cole, as of right now, that'd be the 16th best ever in Astros history for an individual season. Trevor Bauer placed on the disabled list. James Paxton placed on the disabled list as well. Took a line drive last night off the bat of Jed Lowry. talk more about that, but that's not something you celebrate if you're an Astro, but certainly might make things a little bit easier when the Astros head to Seattle.
Yeah, you're not going to celebrate it, but you're definitely not upset.
Absolutely not.
Luckily, there's not major damage to James Paxton, but he has just been an absolute thorn in the side of Astros hitters. That number on the bottom proves it. Undefeated and a 2.05 ERA.
Well, Tyler White grounded out in the first inning. It was a productive out that moved Carlos Correa over to third base. He would end up being stranded. This is inside. It's 1-2. One-two pitch. Strike three called. Third strikeout for Tyler Anderson.
Not much you can do about this if you're Tyler White. You're just hoping that the umpire misses it. But with that cut fastball in the outside corner, perfectly placed, he got the call.
Get out of play is presented by Toyota. Josh Reddick. And he has wreaked havoc on those catcher's mitts.
That was interesting to say the least.
Hits this one on the right side. Ian Desmond track that one down and step on the bag. And officially, that last night was the second time he's reached on a catcher's interference this season. It seems like it was more.
Well, just in the having what 9 the year before.
That's what it was.
7, so 9 total in the last 2 years, but. It's not something you anticipate seeing, so when you do and you feel it feels more than it actually is.
Both of those times coming against the Colorado Rockies, at least this season. It was Evan Gaddis.
Yeah, it was a pretty good call by the umpire on that one on Stephen Vogt where his glove went to third base.
Went further than the baseball.
Yeah.
And it's more about the sound. They hear the double click. Last night,
I think the home plate umpire went back to his buddies. Man, I nailed that call.
Did you guys see that? Gaddis! Way gone! Took out some frustrations on that pitch. And that is how you snap an 0 for 20. You hit it a mile.
The lumberjack with a majestic shot over the Rockies. That was impressive.
That was an absolute bomb. That is Gaddis' first hit since August 1st.
Come on.
His 22nd home run of the season.
It was a pretty impressive launch angle. It came off the bat at 103.5. Estimated 380 feet, but that was some serious hang time.
Astros now lead 7-0. Stassi walked and scored in the second inning. Two balls and two strikes. No one even moving around right now in the Rockies bullpen. Anderson has had trouble finding the zone, and when he has, the Astros hitters have punished him tonight.
He feels he's getting squeezed.
Yeah, guys, this is a classic case of a pitcher being wild outside the strike zone as well as wild within the strike zone. When he's missing poorly, and when he does throw strikes, he's getting way too much of the plate.
That's what I was just going to say. You can complain all you want about those ones on the edges. It's those ones down the middle that the Astros aren't missing that you got to worry about.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and Stassi wants time. It has been kind of a feast or famine. Anderson's ERA in his wins, 173. In his losses, it's been about 8. And a good pitch there, and he gets the strikeout. But the Astros get another run. Big bomb, big fly by the big beard. Evan Gattis going yard. By Tito's Handmade Vodka. Fans interested in bringing their dog to the ballpark that night are required to buy a special Dog Day ticket package. For tickets and information, visit astros.com/dogday. Did that last year. Where are the batteries? You think the batteries go in the collar on that one?
I'm not sure. It was almost too cute to be real.
Astros leading at 7-0. Charlie Blackmon leads it off in the 4th. The Astros have scored half as many runs tonight as they had on the homestand coming in. 14 runs total first 5 games of this homestand. Unleashing some fury here in these first 3 at-bats. Foul back. Well, Garrett Cole and Tyler Anderson, they were the mound opponents back on July 24th at Coors Field. These are 2 guys that have more than just that in common. Both first-round picks in 2011. Garrett Cole, the #1 overall pick. Tyler Anderson, he was the #20 overall pick. Anderson out of the University of Oregon. They had dropped their program and brought it back. He's the first Oregon Duck to make it to the major leagues since then. Swing and a miss, and another strikeout for Garrett Cole. That is his 7th with 1 out in the 4th.
Slider this time to get Charlie Blackmon. That was a little bit of a befuddled look by Charlie after swinging through that pitch.
What I was talking about in that last inning, Garrett Cole has 6 double-digit strikeout games this season. In fact, 5 of those 6 came in the first 7 starts. But leading up to this in his entire career, he had a total of 6 double-digit strikeout seasons. So he's had as many this season as he had in his entire career leading up to it.
I feel like we say that a lot about Garrett Cole and about Charlie Morton. Charlie Morton's another guy that strikeout numbers and the double-digit strikeout numbers are pretty impressive in career marks every time they go out there.
LeMahieu struck out in the first inning. Hits that one on the ground, backhanded by Bregman. Long throw, and gets him by a mile.
Show off.
Made that look a lot easier than it was.
He really did. And as hard as that ball was hit, he actually had time to probably plant his foot and go. But he's been so good moving to his right and throwing back across his body. But it's just a natural reaction now. Great play.
I would face Carlos Gonzalez, who's trying to maybe take a little extra time to get in that box because this had the potential to be a very quick inning.
Would you rush to the box if you had to face this guy?
That's a good point. 1-0 with 98 miles an hour. Garrett Cole has had a lot of success against the Colorado Rockies, mostly in Pittsburgh. He has not been particularly good at Coors Field. It's his 6th career start against the Rockies. He's 3-1 with a .265 ERA. Facing them earlier this season, went 6 1/3, gave up the 2 earned runs. It was the game the Astros won 8-2 in extra innings. 2 balls and a strike, 2-2. Well, since July 1st, Carlos Gonzalez hitting .325, slugging .595. At 99 miles an hour. Rockies no runs on 1 hit. The Astros 7 runs on 5 hits. Second hit of the night for the Rockies. Really just couldn't get quite down low enough to be able to take that one in. It's it right through the shift.
It was actually a really good swing by Carlos Gonzalez, getting his nose down on the baseball, getting the barrel to it.
Nolan Arenado. He has the other hit tonight for the Rockies. Arenado, the DH, talked about it last night. This is the 8th game for the Rockies in a National League ballpark. Nolan Arenado is the only guy who has had multiple games at DH. They had 7 designated hitters in 7 games in the National League parks until tonight. Arenado was the DH last night, stays in that position today. He hadn't played in the field since Thursday night against the Dodgers. Left that game with shoulder soreness. Ooh.
Did he go? Yep.
Yes, he did. No way, man. I'm trying to get out of the way.
Nolan not happy about it.
I see his point. That is.
No, you do, because I mean he's starting to swing and trying to get out of the way.
Guys, I'm down here laughing because that's just not a fun feeling where you're trying to get out of the way and you start your swing, but then your motion of you trying to get your head out of the way brings the bat through the zone.
What are you seeing the replay with the hands go through?
Look, man, it's self-defense out here.
That's exactly what he said. I'm trying to get out of the way.
Well, your bat still went through the zone.
But I think even when he looks,
fault him for calling it.
When he looks back at that,
swing.
he's gonna agree with the first base umpire whether he wants to or not. Just got a piece of that one.
Yeah, that'll make you start start prioritizing things in your life when you start a hack like that.
Reevaluating.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh-2 pitch. Arenado's going to get the last laugh on this one. Great piece of hitting, sends that one to right field at first and third with 2 outs. Man, he's good.
Yeah, he's very impressive. He's going to have a conversation down there at first base with Vic Carapazza about that swing. But another Rocky hitter keeping his head down on the baseball, going the other way, not trying to do too much because Garrett Cole is in command of this game. Just the mental fortitude to be able to fight through a call like that against you and then face a guy like Garrett Cole and end up getting a hit. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that was 98 up there too. Got there in a hurry. After Nolan Arenado singled his first at bat, Trevor Story hit into the double play. Bats here 0 for 1. Fouls that one off. It's 0-1. Rockies with runners at first and third, 2 outs. It's 1-1. Astros trying to snap a 9-game home losing streak. Garrett Cole looking for his 11th victory of the season. It's 10-5. That'll be down for a hit, and the Rockies are on the board. Arenado goes first to third. 3 straight hits for Colorado here in the 4th.
Not terrible pitch. As you can see that Garrett Cole is hitting the target.
That's a pretty good pocket, though, between LeMahieu, Carlos Gonzalez, Nolan Arenado, and Trevor Story. They're going to score some runs when they run those 4 guys out there in a row. David Dahl struck out in the 2nd inning. He's 0 for 1.
Well, that's part of the reason I waited to see that replay a little bit, just to see if he did miss a spot, but he hasn't really missed a spot. It was a great slider to Carlos Gonzalez that he got the base hit on. Arenado had to fight through his at-bat to get that base hit.
Story goes. He'll steal the base easy.
And Story, with that fastball away, just stayed on it, went the other way.
Red Black's team has been on a roll. Been cooled off so far tonight as the Astros lead at 7-1. This is upstairs. Colorado has spoken to the fact that they've been playing well. 26-13 in those last 39 games. That's since June 28th. It's the 3rd best record in Major League Baseball. And they've done it all against teams with winning records. Pitching's been a big part of it, but the Astros have jumped on that staff tonight. That staff being the starter Tyler Anderson.
Yeah, it's the starters that have been good for Bud Black and his Rockies team. It's that bullpen that he wishes could turn it around and get on a run. preserve some of these leads that they've had. That is a Wild West right there.
One and two. Crossed up Stassi on that.
Yep.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Hey, congratulations to the Astros RBI softball team. Did cross him up. Hey, they had 2 wins today. They advanced to the championship game of the RBI World Series, which is being played in Minneapolis. They're going to play for the championship tomorrow. So good luck to the RBI softball team for the Houston Astros. Swing and a miss. He got it. Throw down to first to complete the play. And Garrett Cole cruising through 4.
Busy road trip to California as she interviews A.J. Hinch about being back at Dodger Stadium. She shows off McCovey Cove and AT&T Park. Plus, Julia has some fun in the A's Legends costume. All that and more on Astros Bases Loaded after the game, only on AT&T Sportsnet. What?
Wish she'd have fun at work.
Seriously.
Headed to Oakland. Astros a day off tomorrow. They'll open that 3-game series against the A's starting on Friday. 3 games you can see here on AT&T Sportsnet. Charlie Morton will go on the opener, Dallas Keuchel, and then Justin Verlander in the finale. Tony Kemp takes strike 1 to lead off for the Astros here in the 4th inning. Astros on top 7-1. The Rockies riding a 4-game winning streak in which they had allowed just 10 runs during that 4-game winning streak before tonight. Astros were trending the opposite direction, a 5-game losing streak in which they had scored only 14 runs. Halfway there tonight.
You think they'd be happier about it?
Sleepy eyes right there.
Oh,
he's checking it out.
Focused. His face tattoos hurt.
At him. That's 1 out. Brings up Alex Bregman. Bregman 1 for 1. Doubled and scored in the first. Sacrifice fly and an RBI in the second.
Guys, tonight the Astros have 5 extra base hits, and that really changes your offense. It takes the force play out of the equation, and you're piling up bases. Blum, what's the sense for you of what a difference extra base hits are?
It's hitting the gap.
Yeah,
it's tough here at Minute Maid Park, though, but it's getting a pitch you can drive, and it's not chasing. But they've been in hitters' counts all day long too.
Yeah, I've just always, well, I guess what I was really getting at was how it changes your offense to get extra base hits, because we've seen some games this homestand where the Astros had a lot of hits, but they're all singles. But you know, it's so much type of pressure on an opposing team when you get extra base hits. You know, man's in scoring position automatically, and it's just a different attack. You have to get fewer hits to score runs. It takes the load, takes pressure off your offense when you can hit the ball for extra bases.
A couple of home runs in this one tonight. Bregman with that double. Carlos Correa with the bases loaded double, which you just got the feeling at that point that there was a collective exhale.
Yeah, big time. No, it's Preston's point. You know, it's the post-game interview. If a guy gives up, 15 base hits, he goes, wow, they just kind of poked the ball around the ballpark. They didn't really do much damage. Tonight, Tyler Anderson's going to answer and go, hey, I made some mistakes. They got a hold of him, and they did damage.
Did what major league hitters are supposed to do against mistakes?
Well, it's what we're accustomed to seeing a ball club like the Astros be able to do. They rely a lot on the extra base hit.
Bregman to right field. Carlos Gonzalez puts that one away. It's 2 outs. And you got the feeling early on in this game, and what you didn't want to have happen was something that you've seen the Astros do is put together traffic, but not able to push runs across.
Yep.
That's why I thought that obviously bases clearing double by Carlos Correa was such a big hit, not only for the fact you scored 3 runs, but just the fact that you took advantage of an opportunity. Marwin hits that one deep to right field, and Carlos Gonzalez with a step onto the track. 7-1 after 4. Try something different, like Jack's Teriyaki Bowls for a limited time only. And by Nissan, innovation that excites. 7-1 here at Minute Maid Park. The Astros on top as we go to the 5th inning. Garrett Cole gave up 3 straight hits in the 4th and gave up a run. He has been in control of this game. Struck out 8. The only time only given up 4 hits. 3 of those 4 back to back to back. Brings up Ian Desmond to lead off the 5th. Desmond hits this one high and deep to right field. Reddick over, and Reddick will make the catch, a basket catch. And another play. It was made to look much easier than it was.
Ian Desmond has a couple of home runs going the other way, trying to get over there to go the other way. And Willie Mays Hayes, the basket catch up against that wall.
Nicely done by Josh Reddick. Ryan McMahon struck out his first at bat. McMahon had a big weekend for the Colorado Rockies. Walk-off 3-run home run against the Dodgers on Saturday night. Sunday hit another home run. Second stint with the big club. Sent down to Albuquerque. Hitting .297 since being recalled. It was in 16 games. Ring him up. Another strikeout for Garrett Cole. That is his 9th.
3 fastballs and then a breaking ball down. I guarantee you McMahon was getting that bat ready early for a fastball, recognized break, and tried to hold up and could not.
All 9 strikeouts have been swinging. Saw what Justin Verlander did last night, looking to catch him. He's 1 strikeout away from doing just that. He's on the ground. Bregman, who slipped for a moment, he throws Iannetta out, and that'll retire the side. Halfway through, the Astros lead 7-1.
Energy. Man with the plan tonight is Yuli Gurriel walking his first AB, and then a La Pina power bomb. It's a home run alley out there in left center field. Really getting that back going. A couple extra base hits in the last couple of ball games. That a big one. 2-run jack to left. Now he is leading off this 5th inning for the Houston Astros.
Astros on top 7-1. 3 in the first, 3 in the second, 1 more in the third.
How about some StatCast numbers? You know we love the exit velo and distances. Yuli, 100 miles an hour off the bat. Estimated 398 feet into the barehanded catch by that fan out there in left center.
Yuli to right. And this gets down. It'll be a ground rule double as Yuli Gurriel now 2 for 2 with 2 extra base hits.
Using all the field now. Saw a double going to the right center field gap last night. Here letting the baseball travel quite a bit and shooting a line drive over that right field wall on a hop.
You talked about it last night when he hit that ball to the right center field gap. He is at his best when he's hitting bullets the other way. There's another one. Correa takes ball 1.
Blum, I'm actually going to ask a question that tracks a little bit, and I won't stump you this time by a poorly worded question.
No, you're all right, dude.
How good does it feel as a hitter when you do that? When you pull one, you know, and smash it, then you go the other way. Like, you feel like there's no way the pitcher can go.
The timing is right and the balance is the biggest thing for a lot of hitters. And when the balance is right, you're able to adjust from pitches in, pitches out. And when you start smashing baseballs for extra base hits, going to the pull side and to the opposite field, you know that your balance is right, your hands are in a good spot to fire, and right now Yuli's in a good spot to hit.
Good stretch by Ian Desmond. And he got that toe back down. The throw out of Correa makes it 1 away, but moves Yuli Gurriel over to third base. So a couple of productive infield outs, one of which was by Tyler White, moving a runner over to third early in this ball game. Takes ball 1. What that does changes so many different things. Obviously, down 6 runs, that Rocky's going to bring the infield in.
Guys, I'd love to see Tyler White be rewarded right now because he had a productive out, moving a base runner from second to third, did a good job staying inside. Now you get a duck on the pond with a man on third with less than 2. Be nice to see him get rewarded for playing that unselfish baseball at the plate.
Yeah, that was Carlos Correa that he moved over to third base after Correa had the 3-run double.
And I'm with Preston. We always joked in the dugout that you should get half an RBI if you move a guy over and he ends up scoring. Unfortunately, it's not like football. You get half a sack if you contribute. No. So it would be nice to see him get a big hit right here and get that RBI that he deserves.
Overall, I think the Astros have done a much better job tonight when they've gotten men in score position of picking better pitches. The first few games of this homestand, it just seemed like they were too anxious. You saw a lot of first pitch swinging, and definitely first pitch swinging at pitches that weren't the appropriate pitches to get the job done.
That's in there for a strike, 2-2.
And tonight you're seeing a little bit more selectivity, a little bit more of a game plan by these Astros hitters in their approach as far as what they're looking for.
Does that kind of go back to the fact that you've got some guys out of this lineup? There's a 2-2 pitch. Tyler White grounds that one foul. But you have guys out of this lineup that other guys feel as though they can't be so selective anymore because they're not good hitters, are not getting as good of pitches to hit.
I'd like to think that the Astros they're pressing, yes, but I also think that the reason they're pressing is because they want to be the guy that turns the page and gets things going a little bit.
Yes, that's absolutely it. Everybody wants to be the guy, and sometimes you have to slow it down a little bit because when it comes to hitting, you can't do anything unless the pitcher gives you a pitch to do it with.
Tyler White.
There you go.
Deep to left. Looking up. Way gone again.
Shark attack.
Same spot that Evan Gattis hit his. And the Astros now lead 9-1.
Wasn't a terrible pitch. Tyler White just did a better job of getting down underneath that pitch and launching it. Down and in to where they wanted it, but Tyler White made a beautiful adjustment. And And with that swing, doesn't just pick up one RBI, drives himself in.
Who knew he was standing in scoring position, right? That'll be it for Tyler Anderson. Or Google Play, or go to attsportsnet.com to stream from your computer. Log in with your cable account information and you're all set. Available to customers whose TV subscription includes AT&T Sportsnet. Subject to blackouts, territorial restrictions apply. Astros with a 7-hit night. All 7 hits for extra bases.
That is a beautiful thing.
3 homers and 4 doubles. Harrison Musgrave, the left-hander, comes on. The 26-year-old rookie for the Colorado Rockies.
Doing a good job against left-handed hitters. ERA in 23 games is at 4.55. Fastball around 91 miles an hour. Has a changeup and a slider.
Lefty's hitting just 208 against Harrison Musgrave. Faces the left-hander Josh Reddick, who's 0 for 2. 4 doubles, 3 homers. The Astros offense tonight. Reddick on the ground. Mayhew throws him out. 2 outs in the 5th inning.
More StatCast now that we've got a couple of home runs, doubling the output in the previous 5 games here at Minute Maid Park. The big number on this one for Evan Gattis, that was a high exit velocity of 103.5, but that ball was in the air for 6 seconds. That is some great hang time.
Well, the 3 home runs tonight. You think about this homestand. The Astros had not homered before tonight since last Thursday. That was the opener of the 4-game series against the Seattle Mariners. It was Tyler White who hit that one.
He's got half their home runs on the homestand.
That's pretty close. Yep, he's right there. He does. We can keep that going on the road. The Astros will head to Oakland to take on the A's on Friday. Hoping to pick up a game on Oakland today. The A's have already lost. Beat by the Mariners in Oakland. It's 1-2. And to think about Oakland from this perspective, and you and TK are going to talk tons about it over the weekend, but a team that is a 51-game sample, and they have gone 38-13 over that streak, and they're not in first place. And that's what AJ talked about when he was meeting with the media earlier. He said, "I feel good about where we are right now. We're in first place."
Always feels good in first place, no matter if it's by a game or 15.
Going to get healthier this week, and definitely going to get healthier this weekend with the addition of George Springer, who's expected to be back on Friday. Gaddis this time to right. High and deep again. Gonzalez going back, and it's gone. The Lumberjack strikes again. Second home run of the night for Evan Gaddis.
Yeah, he's just chopping down egos tonight. Preston was talking about how good it feels when you start driving the ball all over the ballpark. How about Evan Gaddis tonight breaking a severe slump and doing it in dramatic fashion? Pull home run we just showed you. This one, not crushed, but enough to get it out of here at Minute Maid Park to right field. Pretty good effort.
Ties the Astros season high with those 4 home runs. Carlos Gonzalez, a very good defensive right fielder, did all he could do. So now they're going to look at this. Where have we seen this movie before?
Yeah,
it was
left
in
field.
Colorado against the Rockies.
Yeah, Gerard O'Hara, the Astros fan that reached over, but I felt like Carlos Gonzalez, for me, I felt like had to go into the stands to try and make this play. And if that baseball's in the stands, the fans can do whatever they want. They cannot reach onto the field. But if you're Bud Black, you might as well give it a look. I'm not sure what they're looking at.
Well, the contact was made with the young man with that glove right there, but I do think
Yeah,
you're
but he's
right.
in the
It's out of the
stands.
field of play.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There should be some high fives for that young man.
You got to give it an effort. Didn't reach on the field. I don't feel like contact was made until after the ball was out of the ballpark. Good call.
Telling everybody what we already knew. Astros tying a single season high with 4 home runs. Well, they're making sure everybody getting souvenirs tonight.
Those numbers are crazy. It's amazing how an offense that can do what it's doing tonight disappears for 5 games.
They've already outscored the last 4 games.
Pace yourself, boys. I'm kidding. You get greedy and you try and get more.
I mean, they've hit balls to the fans in right field, left field, home run alley. Bobby Dynamite's gotten a couple up there. Stassi on the ground. No problem there. McMahon throws him out, but Astros strike again.
And it was Tyler White with a shark attack to left and then backed up by his bearded brethren going Oppo Taco. Ballpark bundle for only $20 during select weekday games. This offer includes a ticket, hot dogs, soda, and popcorn. Visit Astros.com/ballpark bundle for tickets and more information.
Well, 10-1 Astros. Fans have had plenty to celebrate tonight. Top of the 6th inning. Garrett Cole gave up a run in the 4th inning on 3 straight hits. Other than that, he has been in cruise control tonight. Faces the top of the order, Charlie Blackmon, who's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Blackmon came into this game 4 for 12 in his career against Garrett Cole. And 0 for 2 tonight. We've seen a couple of hacks the last couple of nights like that.
And tonight, a couple from Charlie Blackmon, very uncomfortable.
He struck out on a swing last night against Verlander. This is as bad a swing as you'll see Charlie Blackmon take. Fouls this one back. And that one is into the press area. And there's some people that are going to get a hard time on that one.
Yep. Astros PR staff bailing. Yeah, EPR.
Not many go up in that area, so you don't get many opportunities. You hurt your fielding percentage in a big way with one play. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Rockies came into this one with a 4-game winning streak. The Astros a 5-game losing streak. Seventh double-digit strikeout game of the season for Garrett Cole. Charlie Blackmon 3 up and 3 strikeouts.
Fuel up top. Pounding the top part of the zone against Charlie Blackmon. 98. Good luck with that.
Didn't go. DJ LeMahieu 0 for 2. So Garrett Cole, man, pretty close. But Garrett Cole has now had more double-digit strikeout games in an Astros uniform than he did in a Pirates uniform.
And he spent years in that Pirates uniform.
Well, guys, there's a reason for that with the immersion of the 4-seam fastball. It's created a lot more swings and misses for him.
Yeah, it's changed his whole outlook as far as not his career, but the way he approaches things.
Well, the 2-seam fastball isn't really a swing and miss pitch, and I think that may be a misconception. It's a bad contact pitch. You're trying to move the ball from the barrel, to make some bad contact. The 4-seam, you're trying to miss the bat.
Staying above that swing path is what he's been able to do. Credit Brent Strom for really getting Garrett Cole on that train. You can say the same thing for Charlie Blackmon.
And if you notice tonight, one thing that he's done exceptionally well is when he's gotten 2 strikes, he's gone up with the fastball to change the hitter's eye level, then went down at the bottom of the zone with the slider.
And that is an excuse me swing. It's going to go as a knock for DJ LeMahieu.
Yeah, it's a good thing they don't judge hits on beauty.
You're going to get an exit velo on that one?
Yeah, the only beautiful thing about this is that it turned into a hit for DJ LeMahieu. It's almost a shame that he got it, but you're never ashamed when you get a base hit.
I love when guys in the dugout say, "Are you going to take that?" Yes, I'm going to take that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Every time.
Talking to a couple of hitters, like for every one of those, you've got 4 bullets you hit right at somebody that's been standing there for 120 years. So.
Yeah, it doesn't even out. But this is that part of the lineup that created some issues for Garrett Cole in that 4th inning.
Carlos Gonzalez 1 for 2. He singled and scored in the 4th. Garrett Cole had charged right through Charlie Blackmon and DJ LeMahieu in the 4th inning. Had 2 outs, nobody on, and Cargo with a single, Nolan Arenado with a single, and Trevor Story with 3 straight hits. And Story driving in Carlos Gonzalez. That's the one run of the night in a 10-1 game. You're talking with that breaking ball to his fastball, you're talking 15-mile-an-hour difference.
Yeah, but the way it comes out of the hand, it's not that traditional pop up out of the hand where a hitter can recognize it early. There's still the same trajectory coming out of the hand of Garrett Cole with the fastball and the breaking ball. That's where you lock him up.
Called. 11th strikeout for Garrett Cole.
This is just on Carlos Gonzalez before he can recognize what the heck to do with it. 97 miles an hour down and in.
That is the first strikeout of the night looking. Here's Nolan Arenado. Arenado singled in the 4th inning. A ball that came up and in, and he was very upset with the umpire at first base for calling a swing on the play. And then the very next pitch, he lined a single into right center field. Some of the numbers on Arenado are just off the charts. When you start talking about the history of Major League Baseball, he's the only third baseman in Major League history to have 3 seasons, 35 homers and 130 runs batted in. You start talking about the only guy ever.
And third baseman is a predominantly power run producing position.
Schmidt never did it. Chipper Jones never did it.
George Brett.
Swing and a miss. That's a dozen. He gets Nolan Arenado after 5.5. The Astros lead it 10-1.
But a beautiful night for Garrett Cole and that fastball that this part of the lineup that gave miscues fought back to win this battle.
Astros game. Minute Maid Park offers fans a variety of premium seating opportunities, including club and suite level seats for any size group. Visit astros.com/suites or call 877-9-ASTROS to reserve your luxury suite today. Place to watch a ball game. Tony Kemp batting for the Astros. Hampson has come in and played center field for Charlie Blackmon. He did not look right. And Blackmon, after striking out 3 times, he's going to take the rest of the night off. Garrett Hampson, we saw him. He was up. He had just been called up right before we were in Denver back in July. He had been sent back down, but now back on the roster. Tony Kemp swinging a miss. It's 1-2. Musgrave in his second inning of work. There's one away. Astros 10 runs on 8 extra base hits tonight. 4 home runs, 4 doubles. Bregman's got one of those doubles. He's 1 for 2. Also has a sacrifice fly. He's driven in one of the 10 runs. Fans have waited to see some offense get going. Worth the wait tonight. Bregman fouls that one out of play. Tyler Anderson went 4 1/3. He gave up 9 earned runs on 7 hits. Walked 3 and struck out 4. All 3 of those walks scored. Ian Desmond over. Can't get to it.
Had a shot, just got a little tentative, not knowing where that wall was. Not too much help out there from the fans or Carlos Gonzalez. Frustrating when you look down and realize you got a little bit more room to take a couple extra steps to get in position.
Arm gets a little shorter too when you're over there. Bregman pops this one out of play.
Yeah, you start getting near that wall, the alligator arms just don't have the extension you need.
That's the most runs the Astros have scored since they beat the Dodgers a couple of weeks ago, back on August 4th, in that 14-0 win. Takes outside. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Man, seen a lot of home runs tonight.
I was going to say that's how you create future Astro fans, is by doing this kind of stuff in front of them when they show up.
Astros scored 3 in the first, 3 in the second, scored another in the third, and then 3 more in the 5th. Ryan Presley trying to loosen up. The last couple of innings, Garrett Cole has thrown 23 pitches. Bregman to left. Will it stay up? It will. David Dahl, a running catch of that line drive. Marwin's 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. But if Garrett Cole's night is over, he's going to finish strong. He's thrown 23 pitches in the last 2 innings, 19 of which have been for strikes.
I'm surprised Preston's not down there talking to AJ, trying to get a couple more strikeouts out of him. Called 14, didn't he? Sitting on 12.
By the way, that was an excellent call.
He's feeling it. He's got some high strikeout numbers against the National League West.
Ask the Diamondbacks, right?
Gosh, 16 against the Diamondbacks. 9 the first time he faced Colorado. Now he backs it up with 12 tonight. coming into this game, he had 52. So now you add the 12 to it, 64 in 6 starts. 6 starts against the National League West for Garrett Cole this season. 64 strikeouts.
He had 8 in the one at Dodger Stadium, the game that he lost.
That was
Got
mediocre.
beat 3-2.
11 against San Diego right here back on April 7th, which feels like ages ago.
Because it was.
Yeah,
Isn't it
baseball
amazing
terms.
to think you got basically 40 games?
Yeah.
After this next road, so you got 3 road trips and 2 homestands.
Yep.
Marwood to the right side. LeMahieu will throw him out. That'll retire the side. The Astros in control, 10-1.
It was incredible just watching him go out there. He was pitching with intent early on, and then the Astros lit it up in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and he didn't change a thing. He was pitching to these Colorado Rockies as if his life depended on it, and he absolutely blew the doors off them with the fastball. Got up to 99 miles an hour with that heater, was able to put it outside, inside, up, down. But it was an electric night, and he knew it. 12 strikeouts on the evening for Garrett Cole. And again, an Astros pitcher with double-digit strikeouts, 0 walks.
Second straight night. So we pile on Justin Verlander last night. 23 punch-outs and no walks. Ryan Presley. His 57th appearance of the season between the Astros and Minnesota Twins. Comes on in relief. So Garrett Cole was a strike-throwing machine tonight. As I said, last 2 innings, 23 pitches, 19 of which were for strikes. So Tucker in right, Derek Fisher is in center, and Tony Kemp moves to left field.
He's smiling.
Tucker, he gives a thumbs up to one of the fans out there. Maybe it was the kid that was out there with Carlos Gonzalez.
So Garrett Cole exited this game with 86 pitches.
I've been noticing that too.
Well, it's interesting. 86 pitches is a low pitch count for him, but 64 of them were strikes. And you got to remember that Lance McCullers is out of this rotation and on the DL. The days off have allowed A.J. Hinch to stay with that 4-man rotation, so that might be a little bit of the decision making for A.J. Hinch. Big score put up, big lead, low pitch count, great numbers. Get him out of there. Save him for that next start.
Wouldn't all be surprised to see that continue. I think that's. He talked about that as far as after the All-Star break, paying a little closer attention to erring on the side of rest as opposed to seeing if he's got one more inning in him as far as the starting pitchers are concerned. Just thinking ahead, thinking long term as far as the rest of the season is concerned. 1-2 Astros up 10-1. What are some of the things, you know, the famous unwritten rules of baseball? You have the big lead. Some absolutely things you do not do is strike out there. 13th of the night for Astros pitching.
You're going to have to give me a minute because we've got our Chevy Stroh poll results. Obviously brought to you by Chevrolet. Who's your favorite Astros strikeout duo of all time?
Short memories. What have you done for me lately?
Well, I think a lot of the fans who voted in know how to use Twitter, but I appreciate the generational getting on there, because 1987 got 34% of the votes. They were right behind that Verlander Cole group by 6%. The edge goes to the most current.
My dial-up hasn't connected yet.
Yeah, your DSL isn't going to get it done. And maybe we're still waiting for some of those votes to come in.
So I want to go back to what I asked you a minute ago about some of the unwritten rules of baseball. It's not just in the big leagues, but all through the minor leagues. When you got a big lead on somebody else, some of the things that you do and you don't do. Obviously, maybe taking that extra base in a situation where you might be able to get it.
Yeah, you're a little more station to station on the base paths. 3-0 counts, you don't typically swing.
How do you balance, though, the 3-0 takes?
Well, it's just don't extend. Don't force the issue. If you get a double, you take the double.
You're struggling.
If you can score from second, you're going to score from second. It's just a matter of not going out of your way to just pile on and embarrass the other team.
Guys, I am of the mindset of everybody's getting paid. I don't feel sorry for you at all, because if I'm 0-2 and I'm 0 for 4 in that game, they're not going to just throw me fastballs. They're going to throw me sliders. So if I want to swing 3-0, I'm going to swing 3-0. It's not my job to help you from being embarrassed.
You know, I think a big part of that too, Preston, is you got that. There's a mentality, I think, that comes with playing so many games at Coors Field, because you never take your. AJ was talking about that when we were in Denver. You never take your foot off the accelerator at Coors Field.
Yeah, and it's not my fault that you got hurt feelings because you're underperforming on a particular day. Like I said, if I'm going 0 for 4 in every 0-2 count I got, you're not saying, okay, he's struggling, he's not having a good day, so we're going to throw him fastballs. That never happens. It's always to protect the pitcher's feelings. And I think it's really ridiculous. Everybody out here is getting paid. And all those stats add up at the end of the year, and all those stats that add up to what kind of money you make. So on a particular day, I'm not caring about your feelings.
You know what? Speaking of that, that's why I
always felt 3-0. I'm going to get the same pitch 3-1.
No, in this series, we've seen 3-1 sliders.
Not in a 10-1 game.
Pitching has become a whole lot different. They don't pitch the scoreboard the way they used to. Now it's about not giving up anything.
One thing, the Astros pitching staff is not giving up much of anything tonight.
These guys are good.
Yeah, that's the 14th strikeout of the night between Garrett Cole and Ryan Presley. That's, to that point, that's why baseball has the best All-Star game. You can't go halfway.
Yeah.
You can't ease up and hit 98.
I feel like Garrett Cole can sometimes, or Charlie Morton.
No, I mean,
they make it look easy.
I mean, not throw 98. I'm talking about hit 98.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's the difference in the sport where the defense controls the ball.
One ball and 2 strikes. Desmond struck out and flied out. We kind of touched on those reverse splits with Arenado last night. And while his are balanced, a guy like Ian Desmond's got 19 home runs, 14 have come on the road.
It's interesting.
Doubly interesting when you play your home games at Coors Field. Can't make contact here. That is 15 strikeouts for Astros pitching.
Nissan. Who am I? Involved in the Preston Wilson trade. Don't hit on 21. Nora. Who you got?
Wow.
Make sure you tweet that answer to ATT Sportsnet SW, and we will find out who that Astro is later in this ball game. I wonder if Preston knows.
Oh, I know it.
Always know who you're traded for, right?
Yeah.
And what he did after you?
Yeah, and how much money they made. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Well, Blummer and I were talking. You traded for Brandon Backey, guy who was here over Legends Weekend.
Yep. A lot of people forget about that when they rag on me about that 2005 World Series thing.
What about?
They just forget that I didn't leave Houston by choice.
Oh, yeah. See, but I respect you for that. As a longtime follower and Astro fan. Put it this way, and I can speak, I think, for every other Astro fan. If anybody in that dugout was going to hit that home run, no, we wouldn't have wanted anybody to hit it, but if somebody had to have hit it, we're glad it was you.
I appreciate you saying that.
I mean that.
No, I've heard that from several people.
And I think anybody in the Astros dugout would have said exactly the same thing. Hewley, a mile in the air, not going to have the distance. There's one out. Walters has come in to play left field. A lot of defensive changes right now for the Colorado Rockies.
Yeah, this score has given us a spring training game, hasn't it?
It's not that bad, but close. At least we have the names and numbers of everybody. In this
That's a very good point.
Old number
64.
64. One out in the 7th. Carlos Correa, 1 for 3.
I think the first year, 2013, the first year I started broadcasting, we had one of those ball games early in the spring. I think I got yelled at for making up names because I didn't know who anybody was.
I know somebody on this, maybe not the television broadcast, but somebody between this broadcast booth and that broadcast booth.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Make up all kinds of good stuff.
He got away with it. I didn't.
Yeah. There was a player that I can't believe.
Don't do it.
Well, I think he was out of Sam Houston State. The player that he was describing, which happened to be his alma mater. And I'll leave it at that.
He may have already given away too much.
That train left the station. It's 10-1. Astros on top in the bottom of the 7th inning. Kevin Eschenfelder, Jeff Blunt, Preston Wilson with you. Band will be back together in Oakland on Friday night. TK back, along with Blummer and Julia Morales. It's ball 4 to Carlos Correa. Yeah, you do the spring training games, and there's it's always the visiting team because there'll be somebody
bring minor leaguers over,
bring somebody over that you didn't necessarily didn't quite make it onto that day's roster sheet. And that's not a problem it's not a problem for anyone other than the people announcing the game. Now, the beauty of it is when you see that guy come to the plate, you just go into a story about something else that's happened later that season. The Rockies chasing the Arizona Diamondbacks right there with the Dodgers in the National League West. Astros hoping to hold on here and move to 2 games up on the A's in the American League West. Tyler White again. Kiss it goodbye. His 2nd home run of the night in the 5th for the Houston Astros.
Must have been chum in the water because the shark was feasting. Get yours, Tyler White. That is pretty much a line drive to left. Center cut fastball. Tyler White knew it. What a feeling.
Also keeps a string together. Every hit tonight for the Astros has been for extra bases.
That is zero hang time in comparison to one Gaddis hit.
Kyle Tucker would love to join the home run parade.
No time like the present.
Astros lead 12-1. Tyler White with 2 home runs. Evan Gaddis with 2 home runs. Gaddis waits in the on-deck circle. Tucker playing in his 19th game. Hit one last night that took Charlie Blackmon all the way to the wall in center field. That was one that I think he thought he got that.
Well, any other part of the ballpark, he does have that first career home run.
It's that one to Desmond. Ian Desmond, does he have a play at first? He's safe.
Good swing. Got a hanging breaking ball and it jumped off his bat.
Well, Kyle Tucker, that is 2 straight at bats in which he has hit the ball hard.
That was an aggressive swing. He barreled it up nicely. Top spin on that. Desmond unable to come up with it. Good hustle by Tucker getting through the base.
Evan Gaddis snapping an 0 for 20 with back-to-back home runs in the 3rd and 5th inning. Last time the Astros had a 5 home run game, it was the Memorial Day, whether it's a miracle or massacre in
Minnesota.
Gaddis base hit. 3-hit night for Evan. Third hit of the inning.
Some silly numbers. 9 home games, 5 home runs. Tonight 5 home runs and 9 extra base hits. I think Buddy Black has had enough.
They wanted Harrison Musgrave to go out and do just what he did. Give him some innings. Rest that bullpen just a little bit in a game that has been out of control for a while. Through 41 pitches. We'll take a break. New pitcher coming in.
5K and 10K run will take place Saturday, September 29th, with proceeds benefiting both organizations. To register, visit astros.com/run.
You'll be in Baltimore, right?
Yes.
I'll
run it out there.
You could go run a 5K down along the Inner Harbor.
I haven't run a 5K around there, but I've run the harbor. It's gorgeous.
Stop off for a crab cake.
Think I won't?
Play for the tie that day.
Believe it. That day, the story of my career.
Chris Russell, 36th appearance, his third pitcher of the night for the Colorado Rockies. Russell reinstated from the 10-day disabled list on Thursday. Been on the DL since the 24th. He went on the DL when the Astros were going out to Colorado to Coors Field.
4-pitch pitcher, fastball, changeup, curveball, cutter, slider, 5 pitches.
It is a struggle for him. He has given up runs in 19 of his 34 appearances this season. Faces Stassi. That's a foul ball. Now the Astros had a 5-game losing streak coming into tonight. They had hit 1 home run during those 5 games and scored 14 runs. Tonight, 12 runs. They have hit 5 home runs.
They've blown out El Grande here at the ballpark. Scoreboards are no longer functioning here at Minute Maid Park. Can't handle it.
Well, they haven't had a whole lot of exercise here over the last 5 games.
Yeah, they don't know which buttons to push to put those kinds of numbers up.
Astros with 8 extra base hits in this game. 3 doubles and 5 home runs.
And the Astros getting into double digits for the 12th time this season in the 121st game. Last season, they scored 10+ runs 23 times. So it kind of gives you an idea that last year's offense was extremely good. And this year, good, not quite as good, but those were historic numbers they were putting up last year. But the pitching has really picked them up this season, and that is a beautiful scorebook.
That is good look. Astros had not, every hit was an extra base hit. They've back-to-back singles here in the 7th inning. The only exception. Now Stassi on the ground. Should be 2. And it is. That'll retire the side. 12-1 Astros going to the 8th.
By GMC. Why not talk a little bit about Max Stassi working well tonight with Garrett Cole, second among catchers in getting more strikes called than expected. Austin Barnes of the Dodgers leading the way, but Max Stassi has worked well with his pitching staff. These guys are already good, but it's always nice to get a little more help, and that's what Max Stassi does with the way he receives the baseball.
He's received a lot of strikes tonight. 15 strikeouts by Astros pitching. And 7 of the last 8 outs recorded have been by strikeout.
Yeah, Presley had a pretty solid inning. 3 strikeouts, and he's going to give way to Will Harris here in the 8th.
Harris facing Ryan McMahon to lead off here in the 8th inning. And 0 for 2. He struck out a couple of times. Ninth appearance for Harris. Struggled since the All-Star break.
You can say that about a couple of Astros. Getting their legs back under them.
Astros with 9 extra base hits. They had 9 extra base hits in the 14-0 win at Dodger Stadium a couple of weeks ago. Last time they had more, that was that crazy game right before the All-Star break at the Rogers Center last year in Toronto. There is another Astro strikeout tonight. Ryan McMahon has struck out 3 times. David Dahl has struck out 3 times. Charlie Blackmon struck out 3 times. The struggle bus filling up right now. Chris Ionetta's 0 for 2. Ionetta had a walk-off walk on Sunday for the Rockies. Second time this season that they have had a walk-off victory in that fashion. One and one. On the ground to third. Bregman. MLB At Bat is your #1 Astros app. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Get Astros home screen icons and features such as MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcasts, stats, news, and more. Download MLB At Bat today. Hampson, the batter. This guy is one of the high prospects in their organization. We saw him play both games at Coors Field. Sent down shortly there. Garrett Hampson was called up yesterday. The fastest player in their organization. Played second base. He's played second base, playing center field right now. The Rockies had allowed just 10 runs during their 4-game winning streak. Astros with a dozen on the board tonight in the top of the 8th inning. Breaking ball in there for a strike. Just under 30,000 on hand for this one tonight. 29,967 on what is many a school night. Astros had Nearly 36,000 last night, and then a string of 40 plus before that.
Yeah, I felt that cut back on the plate a little bit too. Will Harris executed a pretty good pitch on the inside corner. Wow. That last little cut did catch part of the zone, but not enough to convince Chris Conroy.
Grande's back.
Yes.
Harris took 4 steps towards the Astros dugout. Aaron Hampson hits this one center field. And Fisher makes the play. Middle of the 8th, 12-1 Astros.
Preston Wilson trade. I think a lot of people at home got this right. Who is it? Brought to you by Nissan. Name that Astro is Mike Hampton, Bulldog. 21 wins with the Rockies from 2001 to 2002. Cy Young runner-up to Randy Johnson in 1999 as an Astro.
You know, Mike Hampton was tough, man. He threw that ball that looked like a strike and ended up as a ball. It took me about 2 years to figure out that if it was like right around knee high, just to take it.
Yeah, aim high, let it fly. If it's down low, let it go.
Well, he would wear out a third baseman, wouldn't he?
Oh, man. Absolutely.
Traded, came to the Astros for, was it, and big left-handed power hitter.
Darryl Strawberry.
Yep, that's it. I didn't think you were going to get that. I didn't think you were going to get that.
First one I could think of.
Guys, the amazing thing about the guys that I've been traded for. Mike Hampton went on to sign what, like $150 million with Colorado. Yep. And I also got traded for Piazza, who signed for 90, I think, like the next year or so. Yeah, every year I send those guys letters, but they don't return.
Eric Anthony.
No kickback on that, huh?
Yeah, you would think that, you know, I had some kind of influence on getting them in the right situation so they can earn their money. But they don't see it that way.
Eric Anthony, the left-handed power hitter I was thinking of, traded to Seattle for Mike Hampton. Hampton said the first thing he thought of when he got traded to the Astros, he wasn't happy about it because the Astros wore white shoes. Bregman hustling down the line, got him. There's a guy that smells a knock even in a 12-1 game.
Yeah, that's how you got to be, though. You got to resist the temptation to concede anything in games like this, because you never know. You never know when you're going to get cold. You never know when those hits are going to start running out. You concede nothing, give away nothing. And it's a battle in these types of games to make sure that you are giving away an at-bat.
Marwin Gonzalez. Astro in the lineup tonight without a hit, but it's not Marwin, it's Derek Fisher who came in on the defensive replacement. Beg your pardon? Fisher playing center field now for the Astros. Batting in the 2 spot. You're right about the lineup.
Yeah, it's getting a little weird.
Russin working here in the 8th. Swing and a miss to Derek Fisher. They got him on 4 pitches. We go to the bottom of the 9th. The Astros on top of the 9th. The Astros on top 12-1. Let's go places. And by Shop Us John Deere, your local John Deere dealer with 8 area locations. The Astros scoring early, scoring often, and balance throughout the lineup and balance throughout this game. 3 runs in the 1st, 2nd, a run in the 3rd, 3 more in the 5th, and 2 in the 7th as they lead the Rockies 12-1. And Cionel Perez is on.
No, that was a beautiful thing from this Astros team. Cionel Perez on, making that 6th appearance, getting some work, finish off this game for the Houston Astros. But when you have a team that doesn't tootle around too much and they just get right to the action and start putting it to the other team early, puts Garrett Cole in a good spot to go out and present his dominance to the other team.
Astros 3 outs away from their 74th win of the season, and opportunity to snap that 9-game home losing streak.
I just learned something, Blum. Well, actually, I don't think I did. I heard something. What is a Furky Toodle?
I'm gonna make you look it up, because there is a select few. When you work with me on a Wednesday, you've got to be on your toes, and it's taken me all game long to get that word in.
Furky Toodle.
Yep. There's a certain group on Twitter that I communicate with, and we work things out on Wednesdays, and I got the word in that they requested.
And it's amazing.
And it took me all game long to get that one in.
That's solid.
I've done it to Kevin a couple times.
That's solid. You're a man after my own heart right there, Blum. Yeah, a long time ago, I was doing a Detroit Tigers game in the Marlins. And I had a couple friends tell me, because you play in the Detroit Tigers, that you have to do like a Super Troopers meow reference in honor of the Detroit Tigers, because they're cats. So I did it. I worked it in.
That's beautiful.
Great play by Correa. deep in the hole and throws out the runner by a half step in a 12-1 game.
Talk about not giving up on a ball game. Got a big hit earlier in the game. Now we're starting to see that defense maybe getting a little more comfortable out there.
And LeMahieu's got to be thinking,
just throw me a bone here.
Exactly. How did I not get a knock out of that? Great play by Carlos Correa. Now, you get requests. I know Todd does and you do. And yeah, I was asked to work Mark Lemongello into the broadcast tonight.
Were you? There you go. You just did it.
Just did it.
Sneaky.
Forest for the trees type of a thing. Hiding in plain sight right there in front of you. Astros on top 12-1. Got out to a 3-0 lead in the first inning and never looked back. CNL Perez. Love the arm. Taking a while to figure things out. Spent time back and forth between Houston and Fresno this season.
Yeah, you can definitely see what they like in CNL Perez's left arm. Ball jumps out at 95 miles an hour consistently. It's just command of the secondary pitches and be able to put that fastball where he wants.
Tony Wolters not able to catch up with that one. Hit on the ground. Correa! Unbelievable!
Even he got a laugh about it.
Behind the back, knocked it down. It is going your way tonight if you're wearing an Astros uniform.
That is exactly right. I'm not sure you can analyze many of these things. Just sit back and enjoy it. That's incredible.
He ran past it. Ran past it. Hit it behind the back, knocked it down, and threw him out.
That was special.
Strike one. Arenado 2 for 3. Couple of singles. Rockies are down to a strike.
I'm not even sure how you think about trying to do that. That was amazing.
Astro pitching with 16 strikeouts tonight. CNL Perez 1 out away, putting an end to the losing streak. Two and two. Gaddis a couple of home runs, snapping an 0 for 20. And the fans plenty to cheer for.
How good is it to see these guys smiling again? Players and fans.
3 balls and 2 strikes. Just did get a piece. Cole struck out 12. Presley struck out all 3 he faced. Will Harris with a strikeout in an inning of work. CNL Perez working with 2 outs in the 9th. Be interesting to listen to the post-game show coming up next and hear what Carlos Correa had to say about that play.
I meant to do it.
Upstairs he walked it. So a 2-out walk to Nolan Arenado brings up Valleca, who came in as a defensive replacement. Got a couple of bats in last night's game. Fouls this one away. He was 1 for 3 last night. A ball and a strike. Astros will have a couple more interleague games coming up against the Arizona Diamondbacks in September. After this one, a day off. Swing and a miss. It's 1-2. The opening 3-game series in Oakland starting on Friday. On to Seattle and then to Anaheim to take on the Angels. Struck him out. 17 strikeouts on the night for Astros pitching, and they win it over the Colorado Rockies 12-1. Be back with more in just a moment.